Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. Today is Friday, October 9th, and thank God it's Friday. This is our daily get-together live here on Facebook every single day of the week, 10:30 in the morning, where we gather headlines, stories, comments, suggestions, tips, ideas, all kinds of wonderful information that helps us have a wonderful life in Puerto Vallarta as an English-speaking community. And it's always wonderful to get together with you because I learned so much from these little gatherings that we have. Today is Friday, and it feels like Friday in a sense that the news that I picked up this morning from the internet make me very, very happy to have held on to the cursing parrot because we might need him again today. And Kathleen, let me tell you, I'm sorry to break the news, but there is a fly wrap now. Yes, that fly, that famous fly that we all saw on television or we heard about. There is, oh, my volume is low again. Oh no, hold on. Ah, there you go. There you go. Much better. Anyhow, yes, volume is good. No. Anyhow, there is a wrap. And it is just too funny. I've raised the volume. I promise I've raised the volume. Anyhow, I see a lot of friendly people that are always here. And in case you are new, please let us know that you're new by just writing the word new in your comments. And we'll try to give you a proper welcome. If you have important things that you want to talk about, please write the letter Q at the beginning of your comment, and we'll try to get to your comment during the show. And if we fail to do so, we'll get to your comment after the show. As you well know, everything that we talk about will be available in the show notes later on, including the fly wrap. Okay, do you want to see it? Okay, screw this. I'm going to give you just a little taste of it because I can't wait.
So let me tell you, first of all, you have a fly on your head. You have a fly on your head.
Senator Harris.
Okay, that's enough. You have a fly on your head. Anyhow, I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't want to do that. I want to tell you the news. The news are scattered and what the fucky news. And Paul says that he saw... What? You saw the car chase in the news in Boston? Get out of town. No way. Are you serious? We had a bank robbery yesterday, and apparently it turned into a fly in your head. It turned into a wild goose chase, and I'm just shocked to hear that our chase made it all the way to Boston. Anyhow, I'm not going to be able to get that fly on your head song out of my head for weeks. It's going to be the hit of the season, and I hope it will make a lot of people laugh. I'm sure it's going to make a lot of people cringe, but there's only so much you can do, and we all need a little bit of humor, don't we? Especially today. It's a Friday, so let's get on with this, and let's get on with our news and take it from there. Okay. In no particular order, because the news are all over the place today, we hear that Governor Enrique Alfaro has instructed the municipality to reinitiate their inspections on the road and finding cars that are just going by for the sake of going by. No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, if you're driving out and about these days, the government has been encouraged by the governor to again start inspecting vehicles in places that we know, like El Libramiento, et cetera, et cetera. So drive carefully. Make sure you have your seatbelt on. Make sure your face mask is on. You never know. Just drive carefully out there. You should also know that the vaccines for influenza have arrived in Puerto Vallarta, and presently they are prioritizing giving vaccines to health workers. But I am sure that you will be able to get your vaccine for the flu with your primary care physician or the clinic that you go to and whatnot. They had scheduled this to begin on the 15th of the month, but I'm glad to see that the vaccines are starting to arrive. In other news, I had been telling you about the extinction of trusts in Mexican government. Let me come back to that. Did I tilt my camera, really? I barely moved it. Well, there are some changes, and I'll get to that in a second. Anyhow, we had talked about fideicomisos, or trusts, and how the federal government, the president, is trying to get rid of them. And that frightened a bunch of people. First of all, again, let me clarify. These kinds of trusts have nothing to do with real estate trusts, the kind that are involved for you to buy property in Mexico. These are trusts that the government sets aside for scientific research projects, for cultural projects, and so forth and so on. Andrés Manuel López Obrador's government has said, well, we don't want any trusts anymore. And what the people have understood that to mean is that there's not going to be any more financial support. And that is not the case, according to the federal government. That means simply that the system through which this financial support is given through the fideicomisos has led to a number of people that have jobs but are really not doing much of anything. So what the elimination of trusts is hoping to do is to get rid of all these employees that are just collecting a salary but are not contributing in any way, shape, or form. And it has been approved by the Chamber of Deputies, and it's now going to the Senate. In this headline, we see a confirmation that there are some people that support the extinction because the extinction of trusts are combating corruption and the use of funds for purposes that are not outlined or are not expected. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth about this business of the trusts, and I'll just keep you posted on it. Now, this is the first what the fuck headline, because there is a new law. There is a new law that has been passed by Congress in which Pemex and other gas providers, like gas for your car, have to sell you complete liters, full liters. You know, if you buy gas in the States, you buy it by the gallons. Here in Mexico, you buy it by the liters. So, you know, if you go to the gas station and you say, I want 50 liters, you're supposed to get 50 liters. Well, guess what? Most gas stations, well, I'm not going to say most, many gas stations do not give you full liters, either because their equipment is outdated or they intentionally trick their machines to, if you want 10 liters, they'll give you 9.2 or something. And this kind of situation has been going on forever. Now, a law has been passed that gas stations have to give you complete liters, otherwise, litros. You know what I'm talking about. Liters. What did I say? Litters? Oh, I said litters, as in cat litters. Okay, litros. We're talking litros. Hang on. I'm getting to this. Anyhow, The law now says you go to the gas station, you have to get complete litros. And the gas stations say, what? You mean we have to do what we are supposed to do? Oh no, we're not going to do that because it takes forever for us to update our machines and stuff like that. So we're going to go on strike. So starting tomorrow, according to this headline, the gas stations may go on strike for having to do what they're supposed to do. So what this means is that you want to go to the gas station today. Because what's going to happen to the gas stations is that they're going to be inspected, and if their litros are not complete, their litros are not complete litros, they're going to get shut down. So that's the law, and that's what's going on. So if you have a car, go get some gas today. You may not be able to do that tomorrow. That's complicated to say. Anyhow, crocodiles are back in Isla Río Cuale, according to this headline. So what this headline essentially says is, don't go swimming in the Cuale. So if you want to go swimming, go swim elsewhere, but not in the Cuale, just in case you're feeling that craving. There are other lovely rivers that you can swim in where you will not be up close and personal with crocodiles. And then the goose chase, the wild goose chase. There was a Banamex that was robbed yesterday. And this is the Banamex on Fluvial right across from La Comer, near my house, actually. And apparently this was a big to-do because it was executed by people that live in Nayarit. So they drove to Nayarit, and there was a wild chase, and there were bullets and shots and this and that and the other. And it made it all the way to Boston. Give me a break. And there's a lot of photographs of all the mess that the wild chase caused along the way. And they ended up in Nayarit, and the bandits were apprehended. So that's the headline. And it made it all the way to Boston. I love it. Now, this one is another one of those seriously kind of news. According to this headline, the automatic sprinklers along Francisco Medina Asensio will not materialize. And this is a really funny headline because I remember back maybe two terms ago when the mayor was, what was his name? Ramon Guerrero. Yes. Ramon Guerrero set up this system, this sprinkler system all along Francisco Medina Asensio that was going to be automatic. And I remember that for months we couldn't drive fast enough because the two inner lanes on Medina Asensio were taken by this equipment that was installing long hoses to have all the plants along the median automatically watered, and that system never worked. And it must have cost an arm and a leg, and it was eventually removed, and now they're trying to install another one. Only God knows what happened to the money that was spent on. Anyhow, there's no sprinkling of the plants along the median on Francisco Medina Asensio, and you think that they had these things all figured out before, and they didn't. What are we going to do? Yesterday or the day before, I told you about this gentleman. His last name is Munguia. His first name is, I believe, Luis. He is a local deputy who is one of the favorites to become Puerto Vallarta's mayor, and he is in hot water because apparently he put his girlfriend on payroll. So now the state Congress is investigating this, and Luis Munguia argues that, somebody is just trying to get political against me. I don't have a girlfriend. But then there are sources that have seen photographs of both him and the woman in several social media places where they confirm that they are boyfriend and girlfriend. So maybe I don't want this guy to be my mayor. So just keep that in mind should you know people that have to vote or can vote or are in a position to decide. My mouth is all stuck today. Let me take a small pause to take a look at your comments before we get to the next headline, because the next headline is confusing. But fun, confusing. Michael asks, how's Paco doing over here? I'm schwitzing. I am schwitzing. I don't know why I'm schwitzing. I don't have a fever, don't worry. But, humidity gets to me and I start laughing and I, I schwitz. What can I say? There's a new menu at Poblanos. Oh, that's wonderful. This is good news. Thank you very much. Leaders, says Eric. Leaders, says Christy. Thank you very much for that. It's difficult, How's your Spanish? Anyhow, let's see. Hang in there. What else are you asking? Congratulations to my husband, Clark. A week ago, he was getting prepped for a triple bypass, and today he is at home resting and watching Paco. Oh, that's great news, Bill. Thank you very much for sharing with us. Doreen was the owner of a gas station. That is so exciting. I wish I was the owner of a gas station at some point. Jaime asks, how do we determine if we are not getting our complete litters? I always fill my tank completely. Well, we don't, Jaime. And what happens is that the consumers, the Revista del Consumidor, Consumers Magazine, will every now and then publish articles, and news will come out on local media of the gas stations that you can trust. And a few times a year, I see these news headlines on local papers. Personally, I usually just go wherever I go, and I'm aware of the fact that maybe I'm getting full litters, maybe I'm not, and I'm choosing to live with it. Because, it's like, what are you going to do? Get out your Pyrex measuring cup? We can't do that. And I think it's a good thing that the government is pushing harder for gas stations to do what they're supposed to do. And if gas stations are now cringing because they have to update their software and they have to do this and they might as well go on strike, they are no different than all those trust people, the fideicomiso people that are saying, well, you're getting rid of the fideicomisos. What are we going to do? Most of the president has said this. If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to hide. But clearly, most of the people, from my point of view, most of the people that are complaining about the disappearance of the trusts are people that have probably gotten comfy with a salary and comfy with benefits that they're not entitled to. And I think that's what's happening with the gas stations. Let's see. They are supposed to... I had a phone call yesterday offering me 5 days, 8 days, and a third vacation from one of the resorts in PV, good for 4 years, all inclusive, 2 adults, 2 children. Have you heard of this deal? I don't pick up my phone unless I have the number registered. I am sure that I've missed a wonderful number of opportunities to be in fabulous movies or jobs, et cetera, et cetera. I don't answer the phone unless the number is registered. So I have not heard of this deal. Personally, if anybody else has, please share some comments. That would be great. A lot of timeshares offer deals like that in exchange for listening to a presentation. Yes, that sounds familiar. What does his wife think of his girlfriend? I have no idea. I don't know much about him, actually. Eric comments on his Spanish. I think this is about your Spanish, Eric. I think your Spanish is delightful. I hope my English gets better as I get older. Question, can the old fideicomiso employees get jobs watering the plants on the avenues? Well, maybe. Okay, and Eric confirms that he was talking about his Espanol. Let me move on with the headlines because this next one requires some careful perusing. Apparently, the Oxford University and MIT have produced these graphics that help us identify the kind of parties that we can or cannot go to. So I'm imagining I'm going to print these at the local Office Depot and have them laminated and bring them in my pocket with me because this is complicated shit, let me tell you. According to these graphs, if you're going to be wherever you're going to be for a short period of time, you can choose to say it is a well ventilated party in outdoors, you know, or it is a well ventilated party indoors, or it is a poorly ventilated party indoors. And then the other parameters over here are people in silence with face mask, are people talking with face mask, or are people singing or yelling with face masks or without face masks, the same parameters. So clearly, the bottom line is if you're going to be somewhere for a short period of time, it's best if you are outdoors in silence. And it's worst if you are indoors in a poorly ventilated space where people are singing or yelling without protection. Are you still with me? And if you're going to be in a similar place and it is prolonged, things get uglier very quickly. So the bottom line of this, oh, and there's this is for prolonged time. You don't want to be anywhere. And then for short time, I thought this was for short time before. Oh, there's a difference. See, this is very confusing. This is why I choose to stay home. Um, Anyhow, I'm just going to give you these charts so that you. Oh, it has to do with the number of occupants. I see. See, this is complicated. This is complicated. If you are going to be, oh dear, there's many of these. Okay, so let me get into the worst case scenario, which would be to be in a place with a lot of people. Um, if you're going to be in a place with a lot of people for a short amount of time, again, your best bet is going to be outdoors in a well ventilated place in silence. And it gets worse if you're going to be there for a long time. So it is a very colorful, slightly complicated way of seeing how we should behave and how to follow rules that we already know. Stay outside. Don't go to places where people are speaking loudly or laughing or yelling, etc., etc. Wear your face mask. I feel sometimes like I repeat myself with these guidelines, but somehow I feel like it is important to repeat them just because it is important. We don't want to go back in this process. Speaking of go back in this process, local papers continue to point out the possibility of another rise in coronavirus cases because of people not following safe distance guidelines. This is a photograph of the one of the buildings of the government where this is the building. This is Unirse, I believe, in Fluvial, where you get your driver's license, for example, and there are people waiting in line, and they're not necessarily keeping safe distance, and they're not all necessarily wearing a face mask. So again, I'm glad in a way that local papers continue to hammer this situation. Let me take a quick look at your comments before we move into the more leisurely stuff. Li la li la 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 li la 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 la. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Christy, but it is not. My English is really, really bad once I start drinking. The first thing that goes is the translating machine. Mark, I am so glad I'm not the only one. I never answer my landline either. I really don't. I mean, most of the time I'm just using my cell phone, and I use Telmex only for the internet. This is a good suggestion from Robin as far as the gas situation is concerned. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Dale. We try our damnedest, that's for sure. Li la li la li. La li la li la 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 la. Paulina says, I like those charts. I like them too. But this last one, well, maybe it's because I already know this information. This last one seemed a little bit too confusing for me. Boom, ba-ding, bum, 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 bing, bum, bum. Okay, I'm at the end of the comments, so let me turn on the weather. Boom. Ah, the weather, but that's not the weather. Hold on to that's the weather. Beautiful. Okay, it's 28 degrees, feels like 32. It's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity is high again. It's 87%. There's an 11% chance of rain at this very moment. And there's going to be possible light rain today. Tomorrow, it's going to be humid and partly cloudy through the day, and humid and mostly cloudy through the day on Sunday. That's what we have to look for in the next few days. Yay. And moving on with our headlines, let me tell you that, where is my next headline? It's right over here. Boom. As you know, there's been work being done on the Río Cuale bridge, the one that's right next to the River Cafe. And it's good that Marcela Lepe took interest in this. Marcela Lepe is the daughter of famous artist Manuel Lepe from Puerto Vallarta, who is known for his naive style of painting. And Marcela, his daughter, who has a museum in town celebrating her father's style, decided to contact the municipality, and she and her team started decorating with Manuel Lepe style, which is beautiful, actually. So hopefully they'll do the entire bridge. I don't know if they're only going to do these middle structures, but it's nice to see that there's some interest in making our town beautiful. I love that very much. Moving right along, it's nice to see also that there is advance on the remodeling of Isla Río Cuale. Apparently, the area where the John Huston sculpture was relocated, thank you, has been finished, and there was a small ceremony that took place. This is now right next to the restaurant. Restaurant whose name escapes me, but it's right on the Cuale. I'm going to go take a look at this in the near future, and maybe I'll go take some photographs to see how it turned out. But it's nice to see that Rio Cuale is getting closer and closer to being more beautiful and more useful for everyone. It is also interesting to remember that on a day like today, but in 1995, there was a strong earthquake here in Puerto Vallarta, strong enough to make the cupola of our church to crumble down to the ground. It was a 7.5 Richter scale earthquake that shook Puerto Vallarta for 1 minute and 15 seconds. And it caused some major damage. I was not here yet, but I certainly hope this was not more horrible than I can imagine. But it's nice to see that the church bell was eventually restored, and now we have it back. This one is another one about the bicycle paths. Apparently, the whole purpose of the bicycle paths is to create a continuous bicycle path that goes from the Malecón all the way to Ixtapa, where the university is. And when you think about it, I didn't prepare my map, but when you think about it and you look at the different stretches where the bicycle paths have been installed, first along the Malecón, and now presently along Francisco Medina Asensio to Plaza Caracol, and then from Plaza Caracol inland. And there's already a bicycle path around where the university is. So it is very easy to visualize how this is going to become a reality sometime in the near future. And that makes me very, very happy. Okay, so we're here. Huffington Post reported on the Kamala. Sorry about that. Spanish snafu. Kamala Harris's rap. You have a fly on your head. And of course, you heard a little bit of it, and you're going to have the link so that you can enjoy this and sing it and do your cardio to it and do whatever you want as soon as the show notes are published. We also learned from, this is something that I was like, this should be a Mexican lord. You know, Think about this for a second. If you are a new up and coming artist, and Lorne Michaels from Saturday Night Live tells you, you're going to be the musical number on Saturday Night Live. Can you just imagine the kind of exposure as a musician that will give you? I mean, it's amazing. Well, this dude called Morgan Wallen apparently was scheduled to appear on Saturday Night Live tomorrow, but Saturday Night Live takes their COVID precautions very seriously, and apparently this gentleman, Morgan Wallen, the artist, has been seen on social media partying and kissing women and doing all kinds of things that he's not supposed to do. So Lorne Michaels told him, we cannot have you on the show because we don't feel safe with you on the show. So he was canceled. He said, I'm going to take a step back from the spotlight for a little while and go work on myself. I wish I could have made country music and my fans proud this Saturday, but I respect the decision. I mean, how stupid can you get? How careless, And that's just me. Anyhow, the last thing that I have to share with you, as usual, is 7 things to do this weekend, courtesy of the New York Times. I hope you find some delightful things to keep your minds and your souls nurtured and entertained. And I'm going to take a quick look at your comments before we send off to enjoy the weekend. You have a fly on your head. Let's see. What is this landline you speak of? I hope that was a funny joke. Let's see. Yeah, Le Bistro. Thank you very much. Yes, it is Le Bistro. That's the name of the restaurant. Thank you very much, Jill. Yes. Jeffrey was here when the crown collapsed. I was here for the hurricane. I was here for Katrina. No, Kena. Kena was the name of the big hurricane. But I can imagine how horrible the earthquake must have been. I grew up in Mexico City, so I'm familiar with earthquakes, and they're not fun. Not fun at all. Let's take a quick look. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Oh, I know, Paula. It was just a little snafu. Please indulge me. It's Friday. Was it a fly? Was it a drone? Well, I thought about that too. It's like, can they make things that small to fly onto people's heads? That's just crazy. Anyhow, yes, we've gotten to the end of this. Yes, thank you very much, Sherry, and thank the rest of you. Thank you all for joining me for Coffee and Headlines every day or as frequently as you do. It is always very much appreciated. If you are able or willing to spread the word, it is much appreciated too. If you are considering supporting us because you got something wonderful, or you had a good laugh, or you learned something new, or you connected better with the destination, then we have fulfilled our goal. And please feel free to consider that, and consider the link below. In the meantime, please have a wonderful weekend. Stay connected, stay nearby. Tomorrow is Saturday, and Sunday, of course, we go back to Sunday Fun Day, as we do every Sunday. But between now and then, have a super awesome time, and I hopefully will see you soon. Take care.